All right, everyone. This is a video in response to a question on the Ape Apps Discord on how I go about doing graphics for My Colony 1 in Inkscape. Um, this is also just kind of a general example of how to make isometric game art using Inkscape, so it could be a helpful tutorial for that too. So we're going to go ahead and do this here. I'm on Windows right now. This is the same whether you're on Linux or Mac. And I just opened Inkscape. I got a blank document. The first thing you want to do is go to File and go to the document properties. Oops. And we're going to change our units to pixels right there and right here. And since we're specifically working on My Colony 1, each tile in the game is 64 pixels wide and 32 pixels tall because it's an isometric deal. And what I'm making here is kind of a template for artwork that you can use to make any kind of building for My Colony. So I'm going to zoom in, center on my workspace here. I'm going to turn on the grid. And let's see, I don't think the grid is the size that I want. So I'm going to go back into that document properties. I'm going to go over to grids and let's change this to pixels. And we're going to make the spacing on each, which should be 8 probably. Yeah. Okay, so then I'm going to click on this, which will snap my points to the grid lines. I'm going to use this path tool here, this pen tool. I'm going to go here, 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 and there. And here we have a base tile. I'm going to turn off the stroke. I'm just going to give it a generic color. And I'm just going to go ahead and save this to use later. I'm just going to save it somewhere I can find it. And I'm going to call it template. Okay, so now I got a template that I can use to make a building. So let's say we want a building that is not one tile wide, but square 2 by 2. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my document. Oops, I went document properties. And I'm going to double the size of this. So I'm going to make the width 128. The height, we'll make it square for now, 128. You can adjust that after we know the size of our building. And what I want to do first is lay out the ground of this thing so I know the area that I'm working with. So since I still have my snapping tool on, I'm going to duplicate this with Control D and put another one right there. I'm going to highlight both of these and duplicate them and put them there. I'm going to highlight all that. And I'm going to say Path Union. And then I'm going to put it on the bottom. So now we have the ground for our building. Say we're going to make a simple structure. I'm going to take this building and I'm going to duplicate it again. This time I am going to give it a stroke. And when it's highlighted, I'm going to hold down on Control. And I'm going to turn off the snapping tool right now. I'm going to hold Control and Shift. And I'm just going to make it a little smaller than what the ground is. So my whole building is contained within the tile dimensions. I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to change the stroke style to pixels. I'm going to make it 1 pixel again so everything is even. I'm going to take that, I'm going to duplicate it. And using the arrow, I'm going to move it up. I'm going to turn the fill off on both of these. I just want them to be transparent for now. And this is going to be my roof. And this down here is going to be the floor. So with the snapping tool back on, I'm going to get my pen tool. I'm going to connect this corner to this, 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 and that. And here we have one wall of the building. And take my pen tool again and do the same thing here. And here we have the other wall. We'll make it dark red. The ceiling we'll make light red. And I can now delete this base because I kind of know already the shape of my building. What I usually do, say I'm going to make the building red, I'll highlight the whole thing and I'll make the stroke of everything a red color that's a little darker than all the sides. And so here we have a basic cube structure. I can turn off the snapping tool right now. Say we want to make a door on the side. I'll take my pen tool. Just kind of draw out what a door might look like. Just eyeball it. You can go more exact if you want. Maybe you want to take your node tool and make the top curved or something. And there we got a nice little door. Generally, I make the door a dark color compared to the rest of the building. And then say you want decorations on top. I didn't line my thing up good here, but it's okay. I'm going to duplicate this entire building. I'm going to make it small. I'm going to put it up here, make my stroke size 1 again. Sometimes if you notice the buildings on my colony, they'll have little cube structures on top. Maybe it's a air conditioner or some other kind of utility. I'll give those all a black stroke. And you'll notice if you look in, the edges don't line up good on things. Well, if you highlight your stuff and go to stroke style and pick these 2 middle options here, that makes everything line up really nice. And so as you can see here, we have a very basic rudimentary building. But I think with the concepts I show you, you can make something more advanced, play around with it, and do whatever you want. So this is kind of how I quickly template out a building from my Colony 1. You can use any method you want. This is what's worked for me from the beginning. So I hope that helped, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye now.